Silence, once packed with laughing crowds, now creak under the weight of something massive just broke. An entire pillar of the American economy. No hurricanes, no stock market crash, just one silent, brutal collapse of U.S. tourism. And when it falls, it won't hit evenly, hanging by a thread, completely dependent on travelers. Without them, their economies don't just shrink, they unravel. Are already at the edge. Stick around, because these 10 may be the first to spiral into crisis. 10. Arkansas, a state fueled by forests, rivers, and rustic charm, now staring down economic freefall, built its tourism boom on outdoor escapes, hot springs, hiking trails that wind for miles. Here's the problem. Nearly $10 billion United States dollars in visitor spending prop up thousands of local businesses. And without that steady flow of tourists, the system begins to crack. Lose lifelines. The kayak rental place folds. The local diner shutters. And just like that, the town square goes quiet. It has become Arkansas's secret backbone. One that's quietly holding up entire counties. How many rural communities now rely on park visitors and road trippers just to stay afloat? What happens when the travelers vanish? Because if U.S. tourism collapses in 2025, it won't just lose income. It could lose its identity. 9. Hawaii. Cards don't tell the full story. Beyond the beaches and sunsets, Hawaii stands on the edge of an economic cliff. Is not just part of Hawaii's economy. It is the economy. 2023 alone, tourists brought in over 18 billion United States dollars. But what happens if that vanishes? Entire islands would grind to a halt. Hotels emptied. Local shops boarded up. 100,000 tourism-linked jobs gone. How fast paradise can start to feel deserted. And here's the unsettling truth. Hawaii imports around 90% of its goods. Without steady tourism dollars, even basic supplies become harder to afford. Still a dream destination or a financial time bomb? Before we move on, hit that subscribe button. It helps us keep digging into stories no one else is telling. And trust us, the next state on this list, it's even more vulnerable than you think. 8. Wisconsin. Feels vibrant at first glance. Festivals in full swing, brewery tours buzzing, lake towns brimming with visitors. Behind the curtain, and a very different picture starts to form. Wisconsin is walking a tightrope, and tourism is the net. 2021, tourists pumped over 20 billion United States dollars into the state's economy. Sounds strong, right? But here's what most don't see. Wisconsin's third largest economic sector is deeply rooted in seasonal tourism. Towns from Door County to Wisconsin Dells depend on a steady stream of travelers just to survive. Ask yourself this. What happens when that stream dries up? The fall isn't shutter. Docks go empty. Family-run inns vanish in a season. It's not just about lost revenue. It's about jobs, schools, and community services evaporating overnight. And it's already starting. Our shrinking snow seasons in the north. Summer droughts hit water attractions hard. One bad season can push local businesses past their breaking point, and entire towns are at risk. You'd be shocked how quickly a tourist town becomes a ghost town. Charm has always been tied to experience, beer gardens, cranberry festivals, lakeside escapes. But what's left behind is an economy scrambling to redefine itself. And not every region will be able to adapt. So here's the bigger question. If national tourism collapses in 2025, is Wisconsin ready? Because the data says no. 7. Tennessee. Music pours out of open bars. Street performers entertain. Mountain trails echo with laughter. Tennessee is holding its breath. This state has built an empire out of experience. Tourism brought in over 23 billion United States dollars in 2019 alone. Catch. Tennessee's charm, its livelihood, even its identity, is tied directly to one fragile thread: visitors. What happens when the tourists stop coming? Nashville's honky-tonks go quiet. Gatlinburg cabins sit vacant. From Memphis to the mountains, thousands of businesses, most of them small and family-run, start to fall like dominoes. You'd be shocked how fast it can all unravel. And it goes deeper than missed hotel bookings. Tourism supports nearly 200,000 jobs. That's waitstaff, venue crews, artists, guides, shop owners. Entire communities rely on those paychecks to keep the lights on. But the storm is already forming. Inflation has tightened family travel budgets. Severe weather has repeatedly disrupted major events. And if the national tourism collapse hits in 2025, Tennessee doesn't just lose money, it risks losing an entire way of life. The state's tax system leans on tourist spending. Without it, budgets for schools, parks, and emergency services face sudden and painful cuts. And while the volunteer state has grit, resilience only gets you so far when the crowds disappear. So ask yourself, be one blackout away from going dark. Before we hit the next state,